culture and politics and temperature on them being interested in having trails or not. Depends on where we focus our efforts and attention.
So other than Sutton's Bay, are there any areas around the Traverse City area that really are encouraging the trails, or?
Yes, great question. Sutton's Bay, definitely. Elk Rapids, so exactly in the opposite direction. They are on fire as well. Last year, U.S. Bike Route 35, a national bike route, got designated through Elk Rapids, or connecting Elk Rapids. And they are just gung-ho about that, and as well as hard physical trail in addition to the bike route, because the bike route's on road, so it's different than trail. But they are just very proactive and excited and interested. The Acme Township, so that's just east of Traverse City. We have the Vasa Pathway. Do you see this big green trail system?
Mm-hmm.
That's Vasa Pathway, and that's in Acme Township. And I just attended a meeting last Tuesday with them about transportation, and they've done a public input session to gather public input on how to develop their community, and walkable, bikeable infrastructure is just said over and over again. So they're another area that's gaining momentum. We also have a trail that will be developed. The first phase 1 will be developed this late summer, fall, going south of Traverse City, and that's called the Boardman River Trail. And that is a non-typical Tart trail. The ones in Acme and in Sutton's Bay, as well as Empire and Glen Arbor, are all paved 8 to 10 feet wide trails. So what people typically think of when they think of a Tart trail. The Boardman River Trail will be an unpaved, kind of 2-track, more scenic and rustic and natural, exactly, for trail running and mountain biking and hiking. So a hiking trail more so. And that will be a 42-mile loop when it's completed, going south of Traverse City along the Boardman River, connecting to Kingsley, Kalkaska, and then back to Traverse City. So people can do a full loop hike or bike ride and camp overnight as they go, and then end up back in Traverse City, which is really neat.
That's a good idea.
We've been working with other public land partners like the DNR and Rotary Camps and Charities has a lot of land that this trail will run through, and so that's been going strong as well.
Other than the funding issues, what are the issues that people oppose with the Tart Trail extensions?
Great question. Issues would be change, I think. Change to their community and change to the landscape and how people use the area. So the meeting I attended in Empire a few weeks ago about the Sleeping Bear Heritage Trail coming into their community, residents' input was that there will be increased bicycles and walkers on the sides of our roads, because that's how the plan has the trail going on the shoulder of the road. And so residents were concerned on, I'm going to hit somebody next summer when this trail is in town because of that, creating conflict between drivers and crossings, trail crossings, and visual sight lines for interacting with the trail users is usually an issue. Like, because it doesn't exist, they don't know how that will either positively or negatively affect them. And so that's an issue, I think, just the change and the unknown.
Okay. You said earlier that the DNR and the Rotary Club fully support this. How do they support? Do they donate money or volunteer?
Great question. They have donated land easements for the Boardman River Trail specifically. So all of these trails require, whether it's public or private land ownership, easements to be acquired and signed and to allow the trail. So.
Okay. What are some proposed solutions to the problems that people have faced with it?
Great question. That's a really great question. our biggest solution as an organization is time.
Yeah.
So usually when we hit a roadblock, so to speak, when we can't connect a trail, for example, there's a gap in Acme. Do you see the red line east of
Right
town,
there.
right here?
Yeah.
That is existing trail on the ground, a paved Tart trail. And
And you need to connect it somehow.
yes. So we call this the Acme Gap. And there's wetlands in between there, and the desired route to stay upland and dry land, because that's the best for trail maintenance, because boardwalk is maintenance intensive, and so on and so forth, requires going through a parcel of private property where currently the landowner is not interested in a trail easement, granting a trail easement to go through. So, as a trails organization, our, did you say tool, or our approach that we take for issues like those are just time, and when that land, if it changes hands, then we introduce ourselves to the new landowner, let them know our vision and our interests, and see what can be done, if anything at all. So,
Okay.
yeah.
When we were doing research, we saw something about a 3 to 5 year plan. Can you explain that?
Oh, yes, and I can give you a copy of that if
Okay.
you'd like.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that'd be
definitely.
great.
That plan is great. It's the first 3 to 5 year strategic plan Tart as an organization has had, and we're due for our next one come 2015. And it has goals and strategies, as well as a long-term vision that help focus our work to stay on course, so to speak. So over 3 to 5 years, new and different projects and trail interests come to you, and looking back to that 3 to 5 year strategic plan lets you think, when those come in the door, how does that work with what our long-term plan should be?
Okay.
So, yeah. And I'll give you a copy of that, remind me.
Okay.
Sounds good.
How do you think locals will benefit from extending the trails?
Great question. Well, it provides options, really, is what trails do for transportation and recreation. And hopefully, we don't believe putting a trail for the sake of putting a trail is the way to do things. So, for example, there are, under South Airport Road, there's a lot of interest to connect to the Boardman River trail systems, the Boardman Lake Trail, which is north of South Airport Road. And there's a trail system south of South Airport Road. There's a lot of interest for a tunnel to go under Logan's Landing development, so people don't have to cross South Airport Road, which is a scary and hard thing to do as a bike or pedestrian
That'd be a good idea.
family. It's a great idea. However, without the development of Logan's Landing being, what's the word, very highly used, a tunnel at this point, like if we dug a tunnel tomorrow and created that tunnel, it's a great idea, great thing, but it would be a source of possibly crime or unsafe and undesirable. It'd become an undesirable area very quickly because of the lack of activity at Logan's Landing currently. So although we see that vision as a great thing, the timing to do things, in our opinion, is very important.
Because it's not very busy and it doesn't get like a lot of business.
Right. And it could very easily become an undesirable trail. When you build trail that way, I think more than anything, that is how trails can get hated by the community or thought to be bad things, because they do provide a source of negative activities. And so we just wait.
For a better time.
We wait until it makes sense and that it's the very best thing for the trail, meaning for the community. So we don't build trail or put trails in unless they will, in every way possible, be a positive asset to the community, as opposed to just getting trail on the ground to get trail on the ground and hope that good things come around it. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Total
it
sense.
does.
Cool.
So is with the whole timing thing, waiting for the perfect time, is that why it's a 3 to 5 year plan, because it varies that much?
Yeah.